I'm continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Right now, I'm still in Deuteronomy. This will be chapter 23. However, I will mention again, you may notice I am in the basement. You will hear some sounds down here, so I apologize for the ambiance because it doesn't really fit the scriptures. But anyways, chapter 23. Moses specifies those who may and may not enter the congregation. He sets forth laws concerning sanitation, servants, usury, and vows. He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his privy member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt. And because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God would not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever. So here you go. Wounded in the stones. That's an interesting one. And all that tells us is to flip back to Leviticus chapter 21. I'm going to flip back real quick because I'm curious what exactly that means. Ah, 21:17. Let me just review this. And that just gives us where, nobody with a blemish, nobody with a, flat nose, clubbed foot, any extra parts or any missing parts, they cannot enter into they cannot serve as priests. That's what it's referring us back to. So I'm not sure what wounded in the stone. I believe wounded in the stone is talking about the gonads. And it says have his privy member cut off. I'm pretty sure we can all figure out what that means. So we're talking about anybody who has been castrated cannot enter the congregation. A bastard. Of course, a bastard is somebody who is born outside of the covenant of marriage. And then the Ammonite and the Moabite. And this is to the 10th generation. So this isn't forever, but it is saying, so if you have a son or a daughter who is a bastard, they can't enter the congregation, which means they can't go into the tabernacle or the temple. It's not just them, but for 10 generations after them, their son or their children and 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 so on. For 10 generations, they are barred from entering the temple. So, anyways, verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their 3rd generation. When the host goeth forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every wicked thing. Okay, so the Egyptians and Edomites can go. You remember the reason the Edomites and the Egyptians, even though they were slaves in Egypt, when they came out of Egypt, the Moabites tried to get, as it says, they tried to get Balaam to curse Israel. Edom didn't. Edom just said, no, we don't want you coming into our land. And so Edom is only given 3 generations that they have to wait before they can join the congregation, while Ammon and Moab have to wait 10. So, verse 10. If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chanceth him by night, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. But it shall be, when evening come on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad, and thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon. And it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back, and cover that which cometh from thee. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp, to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. So, among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness. This is just reviewing before, if you are ritually or if you are ritualistically unclean, you got to wash yourself and wait till the sun goes down. The rest of that is that's going to the bathroom. That's what that's talking about. You got to go outside. You can't use the bathroom in the camp. You got to find someplace outside of camp. You dig a hole. You do your business. You cover the hole, and then you're good. Verse 15. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee, even among you, in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, where it liketh him best. Thou shalt not oppress him. Excuse me. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore, or the price of a dog, into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow, for even both these are abomination unto the Lord thy God. So, no prostitutes, no homosexuals. And if somebody is a prostitute, you don't pay tithing on it, you don't make a sacrifice of anything that you are paid for being a prostitute. Verse 19, thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to in the land whither thou goest to possess it. Now, usury is interest. So with Israelites, with fellow countrymen, you can't charge them interest. But with people from foreigners, people from other places, you can charge interest on loans, but not to fellow Israelites. Verse 21, when thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips thou shalt keep and perform, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, that thou mayest eat grapes thy fill at thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. When thou comest into the standing corn of thy neighbor, then thou mayest pluck the ears with thine hand, but thou shalt not move a sickle unto thy neighbor's standing corn. See, I like these things too here. You have the one, perform your vows. Now, some people have interpreted this to be you got to have an actual vow. You got to state that you're vowing to do this. But we look at this, it says, that which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform. So it doesn't have to be stated as a vow. You have to say, yes, I'll do that, and then you need to do it. And I'll admit, I have not been the best at doing this myself. I think this is a common failing among a lot of people, and I will admit to it myself. This last part here, it's an interesting one. So it's like if I'm walking through and I come to my neighbor's, I'm walking down the street, and there's an apple tree there. If I want to reach up and grab an apple tree and eat it, fine. But I can't take a basket. I can't even take a small basket and fill it with apples and take them with me. I can only eat what I can eat at that moment. Which I think is another good law. I think that is very good. Because this is the law saying don't be greedy. Don't try to prevent people from surviving. But on the other hand, if you are hungry, don't try to be greedy and take more than you need, because it's not yours. Technically, it's the Lord's, and so He is giving you permission to eat just what you need at that moment to be full. You take any more than that, and now we have an issue, because that vineyard or that land was given to somebody else. It is their stewardship. It is their inheritance. And God may approve you taking a little bit to sustain yourself, but not taking more than is absolutely necessary. Anyways, it is a good chapter. I enjoyed that. So we'll pick it up in the next one. I'll see you then.